Hey, Astro Kids, and welcome back. This is another addition to the Natal Venus series using Vedic Astrology. And today we're going to talk about what it looks like to have Venus in Cancer. So, in this video, we will talk about what it looks like to have the personality of Venus in Cancer. Along with that, we will look at the differences in a male's chart and in a female's chart, because Venus is the significator of relationships, of marriage, and Venus behaves differently in a female or a male's chart. Venus traditionally represents the wife. It can also signify a husband or a lover, but primarily Venus is going to signify the woman. We're also going to talk about the nakshatra placements of Venus in Cancer briefly. And if you'd like me to go more in depth with these nakshatra placements, just let me know down below in the comments and I will pull it up in a future video. So first of all, what does the personality of Venus in Cancer look like? Cancer is the original fourth house of the zodiac. And the fourth house is all about home, family, comfort, nourishment, inner peace, the mother, the mind. And so Cancer is about making us feel nurtured, comfortable, fulfilling our needs, our desires, right? It is about that motherly nourishment and comfort that we feel within our home environment. Venus is the planet of love, beauty, attraction, pleasure, relationships, the wife, marriage, peace. Venus wants to bring us the most happiness and comfort. And so when Venus comes into the sign of Cancer, this gives a person who loves comfort in their life. And so this typically gives someone who loves to be in a peaceful, serene environment, to be in their home environment, and to have a nice home. So this can give a love of luxury, someone who wants to have a nice, beautiful home. This can also give someone who loves art, so someone who is attracted to performing art, someone who loves design work, someone who is good with fashion. This gives an artistic ability. This also can give a love of food and a love of cooking. And so, someone with Venus in Cancer can make an excellent chef. It can make an excellent cook within the home, someone who wants to provide that nourishment and comfort to others. And so, there is this love of food that is connected to this as well. And anything that is comfortable, anything that is relaxing, anything that brings you back to that peace of mind and that nourishment. This is what this position is all about. And specifically in a woman's chart, this can give a woman who wants a child, a woman who wants a family very strongly. So, this is what this personality looks like with Venus in Cancer. Let's talk about what this looks like in a female's chart. So when Venus comes into the sign of Cancer in a female's chart, this typically gives a female who wants to be like a mother in a relationship. This gives a female who wants to be nourishing, comforting, someone who is going to be very supportive. And so if this person is getting married, they're going to treat their husband in this very nourishing way. And specifically, if the husband is able to provide some level of security to this woman, then this woman is going to give this man the most comfort, the most pleasure, the most nourishment. This is going to be a woman who is emotionally supportive. So this is very strong in terms of the motherly qualities. This also, as I said before, can give a woman who wants to have children very strongly. So if this is a woman who gets married to someone who doesn't want to have children, there can be some conflict with this position. This tends to give someone who really wants to have children, who wants to have a family, who wants to have a steady life, someone who is looking for comfort and security. This can also give a woman who wants to adopt or who wants to donate to charity. There's a love for the less fortunate with this placement. For the men who have this placement of Venus in Cancer, this tends to make a really great father. There is a nurturing quality to the personality, but primarily Venus is going to represent the husband or the counterpart in the relationship. I'm sorry, Venus will represent the wife or the lover in the relationship. So with Venus in Cancer, this tends to give a man who will attract a woman who's very nurturing, who's very caring, someone who is looking for that security in life, that comfort, that stability with Venus in Cancer. This can also give a strong connection to the mother. So this can be a man who has a very close connection to his mother and seeks comfort and guidance from the mother, has a friendly bond and connection to the mother. So there's a strong motherly bond with this position. And this tends to give a great stable life, as this can give a man who gives a lot of comfort and security to their spouse with this position. And again, things like art and decorating and fashion and cooking and donating to charity, all of these things can also come in a male's chart as well. So let's go ahead and talk about the nakshatras. And where we left off in the previous video was with the Punarvasu nakshatra, which starts off in Gemini and finishes out in the beginning degrees of Cancer. And we talked about how this position is going to give a very lucky or fortunate placement when it comes to relationships. This is controlled by Jupiter. So this gives a situation where anytime you're losing a partner or you're suffering from a separation, you can find an even better match in the next partnership. So the love keeps getting better and better over time with this position. This can also give a spouse who is an entrepreneur, someone who is really good with business, and someone who loves luxury. So this would be someone who likes to be on resorts when they go traveling, someone who likes to have a nice time, someone who is seeking that sense of luxury and security. And this can also give someone who wants you to prove yourself to them a little bit. So, especially in a man's chart, if you're attracting a female and you have this position of Venus in Punarvasu, this can give a woman who's looking for you to give some sort of grand gesture or display something that shows your worthiness to them in the relationship. Now, moving on to those of you with Venus in the Pushya nakshatra. This is going to fall within the middle of Cancer, and this is symbolized by the cow's udder, the milk from the cow. So this is all about nurturing, nourishment. So this is especially going to be Cancerian in this nakshatra, as this gives a very nurturing type of personality. And so anyone who has Venus in Cancer here in the Pushya nakshatra tends to have a little bit of a curvy or plump like body. So this doesn't necessarily mean that someone is overweight or that they're on the heavier side, but this does tend to give a very fortunate type of body where there's a lot of mass, and especially in the breast area. This is Cancer, which is connected to the breast. So this tends to give large breasts. Even in males, this can give large breasts. This tends to also give someone who is excellent at cooking, someone who loves food. There is a strong relationship to food and connecting to others, the art of sitting down and being in this family setting where you are eating and connecting together. This is very strong here in this Pushya Nakshatra. This can also, though, give some late fortune in marriage. So whether you are someone who can't find any sort of connection, it's taking you a long time to get into a serious relationship, or if you're already in a serious relationship and there's a lot of ups and downs. These issues tend to smooth out over time, especially as we get to the Saturn return, which is around 29 or 30 years of age, because this is a Saturn ruled nakshatra. So there tends to be that delay that is there in marriage. This can also give really great results after marriage or when you're getting around that age of marriage, where you may find that your finances and your success increases significantly when you get right around to that Saturn return. And this tends to give someone who wants children, especially if this is a female being represented by this Venus, this is going to give someone who wants to have children. There's a strong desire for children, for family, for this home like environment. This can also give a situation where this person has a history, especially if we're talking about the female. So, if you are a male who has this in your chart, you may attract a partner who has had a lot of bad experiences in relationships where they were cheated on, where their ex left them out of the blue. So, all of these things can happen here in this nakshatra. For those who have Venus in Cancer, in the last degrees of Cancer, you will fall in the Ashlesha nakshatra. And this is symbolized by a serpent like creature. So, this is not necessarily a snake per se, but this symbol appears like a snake. It's really a creature that exists underground that we're talking about. So, this goes back to the scriptures and the stories behind the nakshatras. And we're not going to go super in depth into that. But what happens when Venus comes into the nakshatra of Ashlesha? This tends to give a partner who is interested in the occult, a partner who's interested in mystical practices. So this could give someone who is into astrology, into tarot, into healing, into psychic work, all of these things. Someone who loves these underground types of activities tends to come through with this Ashlesha nakshatra. This also can give someone who loves essential oils, someone who loves Ayurvedic practices, massages, all of these things that can help with our well being that are of a mystical or spiritual nature. Tends to attract someone with this nakshatra. This also can give someone who works in pharmaceuticals or someone who works around chemicals with this position. And this tends to give someone who's very intelligent, very clever minded. Again, this serpent like energy is here where this person can be very calculated, very clever minded in their way of going about things. This can be a person who is easily able to persuade others, who is easily able to talk their way into negotiations and make certain deals happen very easily with their charm. And the eyes tend to be very prominent. So the eyes can be very attractive with someone who has this as Lesha Nakshatra. There's also a quality to this personality where your spouse, if you are a male, might be someone who looks different in every picture. So there is this sort of mystical or misunderstood quality to their overall appearance and personality where they can come off as different, especially if Venus is some way involved in their ascendant or their moon sign, or if there is an accumulation of planets in this nakshatra. This also can give someone who wants to curl up in bed, someone who likes to hold on to their partner very tightly in bed, someone who gives hugs very tightly. So, this idea of a snake that coils up around things gives this tight grip where this person feels very comfortable, very nurtured, very loved when they are tightly embraced. This also can give someone who has very smooth looking skin. Again, the appearance tends to be very charming due to this very cunning energy of Ashlesha. Now, there's a misconception that this person could be very cunning, very much up to no good. This is not necessarily true. all of the time. This person can be very innocent and very good natured with this position, but they're interested or they hold this energy of things that are buried underground. This tends to give someone who also has psychic abilities. So, someone who can actually feel the energy of a room or who can come in contact with others and feel their vibration. And so, typically, someone with this position might make comments like, I can't be around this person, their energy is off, or the aura feels different. So these people can feel the vibrations and energy going on around them. Again, similar to how a snake has very poor eyesight and they actually use their vibration as their body slides across the ground, they feel the vibrations through the earth. So this tends to be a quality of someone with this nakshatra. So that was my interpretation of what it looks like to have Venus in Cancer through a man's chart, through a woman's chart, through the personality in general, and through the nakshatras very briefly. If you want me to go more in depth about these nakshatras, feel free to let me know down below in the comments. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button along with the notification bell. I want to thank you all so much for joining. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.